oh my God, what did I say? Like that wasn't, I just put my foot in my mouth. I can't believe I did that.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Pineapple Improv Show. I'm your host, Mike Brown. Today we are talking public speaking, how improv can improve your public speaking skills. Today on the show, we have special guest Hilary Wartinger. Please, everyone, welcome in a big LinkedIn round of applause, Hilary Wartinger.
Mike, how's it
How's it
going?
go? Oh, I'm excellent. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. Apologies
Uh,
for my very excited puppy in the background and my
oh,
adorable sidekick here.
No apologies necessary. Hillary, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, who do you work for?
Yeah, so I work for Save the Children. And so Save the Children is this like massive multi-country, multinational nonprofit organization that's dedicated to saving children. We do a lot of programs in the US around education. Almost every Head Start is run by us. We also do a lot of programs globally. And that's what I do. I work in the international global health department, but specifically my work is focusing on communications. So I do a lot of work with our teams to make sure that all of their great information gets spread out around the world and gets shared and people get to learn about the cool stuff we do.
So, Hillary, I understand that you started taking improv classes at the Groundlings Theater in Los Angeles, correct?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I'd always really wanted to do improv. I was thrilled to find them and thrilled to find out that they took classes or had classes. And that you didn't have to be like I thought about the Groundlings is that you like had to want to be an actor or like had to, that everyone who did the Groundlings was going to become the next Will Ferrell or, the next Paul Rubens. That was kind of what thought I was getting myself into, but that's not the case at all with the Groundlings. Like every other improv studio, they're open to anybody who wants to play and to learn and to have a good time.
So what was it about taking the courses at the Groundlings that started to change for you at work a little bit?
Honestly, it really just gave me confidence to be able to stand up in front of people and look a little silly. I know in the professional world, we're often taught to be perfect and that professionalism is perfection. But groundlings and improv in general really showed me that there isn't perfect is silly and that everything is tangible and that everything is flexible and it's what you make of it and you and your scene partners and the space that you're in. And so I found that it's been a lot easier to just laugh a little bit at myself and kind of laugh at the situation and to really not worry so much if I'm word perfect throughout the entire presentation or the entire meeting, that there is that space for some give and take, some flexibility, some silliness in a room. I mean, obviously within, the bounds of your work and your work culture, but that no one's really watching me that closely to make sure that it's perfect, that it's about the substance rather than the perfection of it all.
I absolutely love that. And I love how you talk about the silly, kind of embracing the silly a little bit. I think for me, one of the things that has always struck me is that, as human beings, we're attracted to confidence, right? So we all feel like we need, or at least we should have some confidence in us. And oftentimes, confidence gets confused for professionalism, or professionalism gets confused for confidence. It kind of goes both ways, right? So we see someone who's really, really confident, they may have like really exact, um, uh, uh, for lack of a better term, like professional look, deliveries, no nonsense. And they're polished, right? They're very, very polished. And those are the things that I think is kind of the idea that we all have in the back of our heads of what confidence should be and should look like. But confidence is really just being comfortable in your own skin, given whatever context you happen to find yourself in. And I think that's exactly what improv training does for us, is it gives us that confidence. The whole idea that there are no mistakes, there are only opportunities. And when you start framing um, things in that way, you begin to be a little bit more malleable. You begin to be more adaptable to situations. Correct me if I'm putting words in anyone's mouth, but that's kind of been my experience. I don't know, has that been your experience as well?
Absolutely. I think actually that's a really great way to put it. There are no mistakes, there's only opportunities. I found that to be very true in my professional life now, since taking improv. I've really I found myself like living in those moments. I don't come out of meetings anymore going, oh my God, what did I say? Like that wasn't, I just put my foot in my mouth. I can't believe I did that. Instead, maybe there's something else. Like I could have worded that a little bit better, but now I have either the opportunity to learn that that was not, next time I'm going to say it like this, or next time I'll explain something this way. But also, it's more about the opportunity to connect, if nothing else. It's like I'm learning from this situation, I'm connecting with the people involved. There's always something there. And I think that's one of the other elements that I really got out of improv was the human to human interaction. Um, I think especially because most of my work now is remote, it's done like this through Zooms, it's harder, it's
Yeah.
easier to kind of not just say check out, but there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot going on in our worlds that is hidden from others behind these screens. And improv has really helped me to be more present, to really listen, and to always be yes anding and in conversations. So I think that's been really helpful too.
How has your relationship with your coworkers changed, improved, or declined since you have been kind of putting to use your improv skills at work?
Great question. So in September, October, I was part of a 4-day retreat in DC in person. So I went into the office and we had people that I've only really talked to through screens. And I was really in charge of a lot of that workshop and a lot of that retreat. And I ended up leading a lot of the sessions on it. And at the end of it all, I mean, the compliments I got for my facilitation skills, for my ability and like comfort to stand up in front of people and talk, I was really able to, as I said earlier, bring the room together, I keep everyone focused, keep everyone's attention like where it needed to be, a bit of humor, again, appropriate humor, but humor thrown in and a relaxing, it was like relaxing. It didn't feel really stuffy and forced in a way that some other meetings that I've been in have. And my colleagues really noticed that and reflected and told me and talked to my supervisor about it, there's a lot of that recognition for my ability to lead a room and such. And I really do I attribute a lot of that to improv.
I want to pivot a little bit. I wonder if you would be willing to play a little improv game with me. It's called Business Expert. I'm going to give you a topic that you, Hillary, are not an actual expert on, but now you have to pretend to be an expert at that thing and deliver kind of a mini TED Talk. What do you think? Are you up to it?
Totally. Let's go.
All right, cool. So, Hillary, your topic of expertise that I'm just pulling off the top of my head. You know what? I'm going to look at my water bottle here. Let's go with let's go. How about pretzels? You
Sauce.
are an expert on the topic of pretzels. You know everything that there is to know about pretzels, and tell us a little bit about pretzels, and I'll ask you a few questions along the way.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Sandra Twists, and I am an expert in pretzels. And I'm here to thank you all for joining my TED Talk, The Twists, Turns, and Curves of the Pretzel, a Salty Truth. So for today, we're going to dive back into the history of pretzels. Pretzels originally were invented by Sir Jim Pretzely. It was not quite spelled the same, pretzely, with a little eh at the end. They call it an eh in Paris, where they're from. And they were originally used as duck food. ducks, they love to just get their mouths into things and into shapes. And so the pretzel formation was able to really get their beaks right into that, the hole there, the twists and turns of the pretzel. Humans, however, got really jealous of ducks and thought, damn, that looks like a good snack. And so we decided to adopt the pretzel as a food of our own. So that's really the start of the history of the pretzel. Oh, yes, I see a question in the back. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Madam Twist, is it? I have a question about how did the twist be introduced into the pretzel? Because typically we just have loaves of bread. Where did the pretzel shape and the twist come into play?
Such a great question. Thank you, sir. So it's actually a fun story. So the twist was an accident. There was a man who was working at the pretzel stand, and he was like pulling out the long strands of pretzels because the pretzel used to just be a thin rod, which
Like a baguette.
boring, like a baguette, exactly from Paris. You get it. But while the man was holding and stretching, he started to drop it. And, twisted it all up in his hand as he dropped it. And he looked at it and he really thought, damn, that's actually a great idea. I love this shape. And so he thought, this is fun. I'm going to hold on to this. And he took a bite and it was actually so much better and tastier in that format. So that's how we started the twist.
That is absolutely amazing. Hilary, thank you so much for that TED Talk. That was brilliant. For all of you watching at home right now, please give Hilary a nice big round of applause, as that was genius, brilliant, and absolutely perfection. Hilary, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for talking about public speaking and how improv has improved that for you in your work life, and I also assume in your home life as well. Are there any last thoughts that you would like to leave our watchers with about either improv, public speaking, or maybe save the children?
Yeah. Well, I'll, always pitch that, it's the end of the year. If you've got any extra cash, Save the Children will always take it. SaveTheChildren.com. You can donate $1, $5, $100, whatever you'd like. Always got to pitch that. But also, I think it's just, I can't underscore how great improv has been in my life. And it's thanks to people like you, Mike, who, bring the love of improv to the masses. I think is just so important. And, and I feel like improv gets not a bad rap necessarily, but people are like, "Ooh, what's up with that?" And I think it's people like you and this podcast who can really show that it's for everybody. It's not just for actors or people who want to be, the next Will Ferrell, but there is benefit to all, and I highly recommend it. So thank you, Mike, for everything you do.
Folks, this concludes today's episode, but be sure to tune in next week when we're having a few more special guests. Once again, I'm your host, Mike Brown. This is the Pineapple Improv Show, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.